Welcome everyone to our Thursday night travel talk. Tonight our special guest is Freddie Marsh from Western Canada Playa Hotels and Resorts. He's going to be focusing on Mexico, Jamaica, and Dominican Republic. Everyone on this call is muted. You do have control of your video. We'd love to see your faces. So if you want to put your camera on, we'd love to see you. And there is a chat feature. If you have any questions, put them in the chat feature and we will answer them after the presentation. So my name is Lisa Antflick. I'm one of the consultants at Expedia Cruises. And tonight's travel talk is being hosted by the 6 Expedia Cruises locations in the Edmonton area. We've been doing these travel talks since March of 2020 to inspire, to educate you, and more important, to let you know what's been happening in the travel industry. I don't even want to talk about how many months travel has been shut down. I am missing it terribly, and if you're on this call, you probably are as well. Travel fulfills us, that's why we do it. Good news is that travel has begun. Resort vacations such as in Mexico, Cuba, and Dominican Republic are open for booking and busy for booking. Winter is here. It's a great time to start planning to get away from the cold, snow, and dark and start being in sun, sand, and beach. I will say the travel is a bit more complex now. And if you're watching the news, you're seeing every day it's changing. But now more than ever, the professional advice of a travel consultant is needed. Our consultants at Expedia Cruises are here to help you navigate the new complexities of travel and make sure your vacation is safe and seamless. Sometimes people will say, well, you know what, I'm just going to book my own vacation online. And I think, yeah, you can do that in the same way as I could change the oil in my car, but I really prefer to leave things to the experts. When you book with a travel agent, you're going to receive our expertise. There are hundreds of different resorts and destinations, and a travel advisor can help you find the right trip for you. We will help you with information regarding passport, visas, entry requirement, and more COVID protocols and testing required. We are there to assist you in emergencies or when problems occur. If you are ready to travel, we are ready to help book you now. If you're not feeling comfortable traveling, that's okay as well. I will tell you though, the time is always right to plan. Studies have shown that approximately 40% of the pleasure of a trip comes from planning one. Last year has been challenging, and sometimes what gets me through the day is to think about where I can go next. My bucket list has become a to-do list, and I can't wait to start traveling again. Time has passed, and like you, I have much to make up for. We all do. Whatever your dreams are at Expedia Cruises, our consultants can help make them come true. We are committed to finding you the best value for your travel dollars. We are available to help you with air, land, sea vacation. We can plan all components of your vacation. And best of all, we are in your neighborhood, so you can shop local. So I'd like to invite you now to sit back and relax, and let's start exploring the world and dreaming of our next vacation. So I'm going to introduce and turn it over to our guest, Freddie Marsh, who's going to tell us all about Playa Resorts. Welcome, Freddie.
Hi, thank you very much, Lisa. Hello, everybody. Hello in Edmonton. I checked the weather in Edmonton. I wanted to see how cold it was, and it said it was -1 and clear. So it's not too bad, but definitely we've got some nice weather in Jamaica, Dominican Republic, and Mexico. So that's what I'm going to talk about and tell you about our resorts. So I have a feeling you've probably never heard of Playa Hotels and Resorts. That's our corporate name. But you will probably recognize some of the brands of all-inclusive resorts that we have underneath the Playa umbrella. So we have a new brand called the Windham Ultra that we just debuted yesterday. There's 2 of them. One's in Cancun and one's in Playa del Carmen. Great 4-star properties. We have Hilton all-inclusive resorts. We have a resort in the Dominican Republic called the Sanctuary Cafcana, which is amazing. It actually has its own castle as part of the resort. It's a really beautiful, all-inclusive, adults only. In Jamaica, we have our jewel resorts. And then we also have our Hyatt Ziva and Hyatt Zalara all-inclusive resorts. So for this presentation, decided that I'm just going to talk about our Hyatt Ziva and Hyatt Zalaras because that's the the one where we have the most hotels. And I'm sure you've probably heard of Hyatt before. Hyatt Ziva and Hyatt Zalara are Hyatt's all-inclusive brand of resorts. And just so you know, the difference between them, a Ziva and a Zalara, is a Hyatt Zalara resort is adults only. So you have to be 18 or older to stay at one of our Hyatt Zalaras. We have a few of them. And then our Hyatt Ziva properties are for everybody. So there's no age restriction. So it's great for families, great for everybody. And we call it the evolution of all-inclusive. So I'm actually going to tell you sort of about what's all included with our Hyatt Ziva and Zalara properties and what you can expect. And Lisa, I love what you said about 40% of people, the pleasure of a trip is planning it. I couldn't agree more. I'm kind of the same way. I always need to have a trip planned and something to look forward to. So I agree with that completely. So let's start with service. Because our food can be wonderful, we can have beautiful rooms, but if we don't have good service at the resorts, that I think is really what makes or breaks. So we have something called service from the heart. There's a whole philosophy and training that goes behind it. It means that we're doing everything with love. And that comes through when you're at property and you're walking around the resorts. Every time you encounter any of our staff members, we always put our right hand over our heart. And it's very heartfelt and sincere. And like I said, there's a lot of training that goes behind that. So that's one consistent comment I always receive is the service level at the resorts is absolutely phenomenal. Next is accommodations. So our rooms are beautiful. So we are a company where, if your budget, because there's going to be different levels of rooms that you can book. So you could have one that might be facing the garden, or you could pay a little bit more and have one facing the ocean. It's like cruising, right? So you've got the interior, the ocean view, and then you've got your balcony suites. We even have, 2 and 3 bedroom suites. We have swim out suites. This is what we're seeing in this photo. If you look out on the patio, you can see that's a swim out suite. But even if your budget was for one of the lower priced rooms, the rooms are going to be beautiful. So don't even worry about that. It's going to be more of what you want your view to look like. So for example, with our all-inclusive resorts, we always include 24-hour room services included. All of the rooms have a stocked mini fridge with beer, pop, water, and juice, and that's all included. And the one thing I love, and I think as I've gotten older, a good bed means more and more to me than it used to. We really have amazing beds. So it is the really good quality mattresses, the high thread count linens, the really good comfortable pillows. So the bedding is phenomenal. And speaking of bedding, we do confirmed bedding. Now, what that means is normally when you book an all-inclusive resort, if you're booking one of our competitors, let's say, you won't know whether your room is going to have a king bed or 2 queen beds. And it's just kind of a request. You just never know if you're going to get it. When you book a Hyatt Ziva or Hyatt Zalara resort and you work through your Expedia Cruises agent, they can confirm the bedding configuration that you want. So if it's important for you to have a king size bed, they'll book that, and then there's no guessing game. You are confirmed that you'll have that king bed when you arrive. Or sometimes maybe you might need 2 beds. Maybe siblings traveling together or whatever, or friends, and they want to have 2 beds. Your Expedia agent can definitely go ahead and confirm that. So that's something that I really like, because sometimes that can be a little bit stressful for people if they're heading down there, and that's super important. You want to be able to make sure that you can have that. Like I mentioned, we include room service 24 hours a day, and there's no charge for the room service. So you're going to be hearing me say no charge a lot during this presentation, because that's one of the beauties of booking a Hyatt Ziva and Hyatt Zalara all-inclusive resort. Everything is included, including the room service. And we have a great menu. When you order breakfast, it is delivered. We have a lunch menu, we have a dinner menu, and lots of great options that you can choose from. My favorite thing is to order room service in the morning for breakfast, and then be able to go out and sit on the balcony and enjoy a great breakfast. It's always a nice way to start the day. We also, since the beginning of this whole situation that we've been living through for the last 2 years, now that travel is opening up again, we are noticing a lot of people are wanting to, I call it splurge travel. So, you know, we've been denied travel for 2 years. So we're thinking, you know what, my next trip, I'm going to do it right. So we're seeing a lot of people that are wanting to book maybe the swim up suites, larger suite options. We also have suites that come with your own butler. And I'm guilty of that. I booked my own vacation in January. I'm going down to one of our resorts in Mexico. And we decided we're going to book a swim up suite just because, you know, we haven't been able to go on vacation for a while and we think we deserve it. So lots of great options for you to choose from. And this is the swim up suites that I was talking about. So basically you have your balcony. The swim up suites are usually on the first floor. In Cancun, we have some that are on the higher floor, but it's usually on the first floor. You'll have your balcony and a little patio with a table and 2 chairs, very nice furniture. And then you have 2 in-water chaise lounge chairs. You can swim right off your patio into that pool. And some of our resorts, not all of them, but some of them have a little bell and then like a buzzer, like a doorbell. And when you ring that, that lets the waiter know that you are ready for fresh cocktails and they'll come over and serve you from your swim up. So it's pretty incredible. We have beautiful pools at all of our resorts, of course. That is a big part of Playa Resorts, is we have these big, massive swimming pools because we know when people, especially Canadians, when we're down there, we want to spend as much time as possible in those swimming pools. And guess what my number one question is when I'm doing presentations? Do we have a swim up bar? Everybody loves a swim up bar. Who doesn't love one? So yes, at every one of our Hyatt, Ziva, and Hyatt Zalara resorts, we have a great swim up bar. And yes, it is included. So when you swim up there and get your, you know, I don't know what drinks they're having. It looks like it could be a strawberry daiquiri or something. That's all included. You're not paying anything extra for that. The other thing is location. So in every destination that we operate in, excuse me, we have the best beachfront locations. And in a lot of times what we'll do at the swimming pools, we do infinity pools. So you can see that the pools come right up to the beach. So even though, like I'm not really much of an ocean swimmer, I'm more of a pool guy, but I like being near the beach. So I really like our pools because when you're in the pool, the beach is right there. So you kind of feel like you're at the beach, even though you're in the swimming pool. I'm always thinking that something's gonna tap my leg or something when I'm in the ocean. I don't know, I'm a scaredy cat, I guess, but I'm more of a pool guy. But we also include sports and activities. So that's something that's included as well. So non-motorized water sports are included. So that would be your kayaking, your hobby cats. If you were wanting to go snorkeling, we have all that equipment. And there's no charge to use any of that. You can help yourself. We even do floating yoga. And I actually did try this. I wasn't as graceful as they were, but I did try it one day. This is part of the activities that we have going on at the resort. So, you know, we have regular yoga, we've got floating yoga, we've got all these kinds of different things happening. So if you want to be really active, and we have beach volleyball, there's tons of things to do. Because I know that there seems to be 2 kinds of people when they're on vacation. There's the person that likes to be busy and doing stuff all the time, and we can keep you really busy and having a blast. Or if you just want to sit back and chill and just find a nice quiet spot and read a book, that's fine too, because it is your vacation. So it's whatever you want. Unlimited fun. So at our properties, at a lot of our resorts, at a lot of our Ziva resorts, because remember I said Ziva are the all ages properties, we're putting in water parks with water slides and lazy rivers. So those are really fun. If you haven't done a lazy river, you grab an inner tube and then you hop in and then the current takes you all around a big circle. You kind of go in a big circuit. We've got these great water slides. Again, this is included. So you're not paying anything extra for any of that. If you're thinking of traveling with kids, so maybe you're bringing your own kids or your grandkids, if you're staying at a Hyatt Ziva property, we always have a kids club, a really great kids club, great staff that are all trained in early childhood development and first aid trained as well. The kids clubs are really fun. So it's basically like a daycare that we have at the resort where we keep the kids really active. Don't worry, they're not inside all the time. They're doing lots of stuff outside as well. And again, this is all included. So you're not paying anything extra for that. So that's for the kids up to 12 years old. And then you might be wondering, okay, I've got a 13-year-old. What am I going to do with the 13-year-old? We've got our teen clubs. So those are for the 13 to 17-year-olds who are too cool to go to the kids club. We have these real fun teen club. We call it our teens lounge. You see how we use the Z because of Ziva, Zalara. We do that a lot with a lot of our names for restaurants. We really like those Zs. I don't know if I mentioned, but we include Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi is included at all of our resorts, and it's everywhere on the property. So it's in the lobby, it's in the restaurants, it's at the pool, it's in your rooms. So when you check in, you can connect up to 5 devices per room for free Wi-Fi, and it is a very good signal. So yes, you can FaceTime your family and friends back home and make them jealous of where you are, or if you wanted to stream a movie, you can do that. So very good quality Wi-Fi, and of course that is always included, no extra charge for that. We really love our coffee at Playa Resorts. So at every Hyatt Ziva and Hyatt Zalara, actually any of our resorts, we always have a really great coffee shop. So think of it sort of as a really nice Starbucks or a Blends. You go in, they've got the cappuccinos, the espressos, frappuccinos. In the mornings, I really like it because they have fresh baked goods, yogurt, and fresh fruit. And then in the afternoon, they have sandwiches and some cookies and ice cream and things like that. This is 100% included. Remember I told you I was going to be saying things are included? This is included. So if you're wanting to have a specialty coffee, your double shot, whatever drink that you want, that is included. So you're not paying anything extra for that. So our guests love that. All of our resorts have beautiful spa. We call it the Zen Spa. This is one thing where you would have to pay if you were wanting to go and have like a massage or a spa treatment, a facial, anything like that. There would be a charge. They're very good prices. I actually was just I was in Jamaica about 2 weeks ago at one of our resorts, and I was thinking about it. I'm not really a spa kind of guy, but I was kind of looking at the menu, and I was thinking of getting a massage, and I was really impressed with the pricing. Because a lot of times when you're staying at a hotel, the spa rates can be quite high, but our prices I found were very, very reasonable. And then let's talk about the food. So the food is incredible. So one thing that's different for us than some of our competitors is we have tons of restaurants at each one of our resorts. So there's usually one buffet restaurant that's open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then we'll usually have 7 to 8 a la carte restaurants where you can just go, and it's like going to a really nice restaurant in Edmonton where you sit down, you open the menu, you order off the menu, there's no reservations required. And what I love is we have a relaxed dress code. We call it resort casual. So there's no need to pack a suit or a tie. You're on vacation. You know, I usually basically this kind of shirt would be fine that I'm wearing to go to one of our a la carte restaurants. And the food is incredible. So at each restaurant, none of the restaurants share a kitchen. So it's each individual restaurant is very different and the food is very different. We also do not require reservations. So that is different than from what a lot of our competitors. A lot of times they'll say, well, you can go to the a la carte restaurants, but you have to make a reservation and you have to get up early in the morning and go down to the lobby and stand in line and make a reservation. We don't do that. So because you're on vacation, you don't know what time you want to have dinner that night or even maybe what restaurant you want to go to that night. And because we have so many restaurant options, there's never a wait. If for some reason one of the restaurants is really popular one night, you will get a pager and you can go have a drink at the bar, or they can tell you which restaurant would have immediate seating, but that happens very rarely. Also, we do not limit our guests to how often they can go to the a la carte. So, for example, this is our Italian restaurant at one of our resorts. It's called the Noodle and Thread. So instead of needle and thread, they call it the Noodle and Thread, and it's supposed to be like your Italian grandma's kitchen. So it's Italian food. So let's say this was your favorite one and you loved it and you wanted to go there every night, you could. There's no limit. I've even had people where they will go restaurant hopping. So they'll go to one restaurant for their appetizer. They'll go to another restaurant for their main course. They'll go to another restaurant for their second main course, because why not? You're on holiday. And then another one for your dessert. So, you know, there's total flexibility there, which is really nice. The other thing that I really like is that we have healthy options. So, you know, if you're trying to be good on holidays, or maybe you have food allergies or food restrictions, this is something that we're really on top of. So for example, I might as well talk about that. Let's say you had a peanut allergy, or somebody you're traveling with has a peanut allergy. You will be asked about that when you check in, if anybody has an allergy. If you do have a severe allergy, you will be given a card. And then the card is, so that would be in our Mexican and Dominican Republic, because it would be in English and Spanish. So it explains exactly what the food allergy is. Also, every time you go to a restaurant, when the hostess seats you, they will ask you if you have any food allergies. And also the server does as well. So don't worry about it. If you have food allergies, we have got your back, and some really great options for dining. Now let's talk about one of my favorite parts of going to an all-inclusive resort is the yummy drinks. So of course, all of your drinks are included, whether that be non-alcohol or alcohol, it's included. And we serve premium top shelf liquor. So we're not serving you a brand that you've never heard of before. We are serving premium top shelf liquor at all of our various bars. And we have some really fun bars. This is one of my favorites. This is a bar called the One-Eyed Cat. And it's sort of like to me, it sort of feels like a James Bond kind of feel. It's they make some really good martinis. I remember having a couple of really good lemon drop martinis here. So, you know, we really have some really great venues, including sports bars. So this is something that we do at all of our Hyatt Ziva and Hyatt Zalara resorts. Maybe after dinner, you want to go somewhere and you kind of want to hang out. And we've got these great sports bars where we have pool tables. We'll have, if there's any games going on, we have subscriptions to all the major sports channels. So, you know, if the Stanley Cup playoffs were on, we're going to be playing that at the sports bars. They do some really fun things there as well. And a lot of times in the evenings, this is where we'll do things like karaoke, and we'll have local bands come in and have entertainment. So the sports bars are always a lot of fun. And then we also have shows every night as well. So we do this at all of our properties, and the show usually starts around 8 or 9 o'clock. And we have professional entertainers. So you're not going to be watching the show and be like, hold on, is that the person that was cleaning my room this morning is up there doing a little song and dance? No, we hire professional companies that come in to do all of our entertainment. This is a really fun one that I like. It's like a Cirque du Soleil kind of show that they do, but we've got really, really great entertainment. And then if you're feeling romantic, we also have destination weddings. So that, of course, is a very popular option. Or even if you're wanting to go down and maybe doing a vow renewal, or just going down and having a special event down there, we can set that up for you. And we have some beautiful locations if you're thinking about doing something like that with one of our wedding gazebos or something on the beach as well. And then all the amazing moments that we have at the property. So something that we really like, this is just a small example of something that we like doing, is we really like having fire pits at our resorts. So this is a really kind of nice thing in the evenings where you can sit around a fire pit We actually do s'mores, so they'll bring the marshmallows and chocolates and all that. And there is bar service here as well, so you can sit there and have a drink and visit with your friends or your family, and it's kind of a nice thing. Also, there's quite a few different. Oh, I didn't even talk about the gym yet, and I don't think I have a slide on that, but that sort of went in with the wellness. Is if you want to keep active while you're on property, we also have really great gyms at all of our resorts. So I kind of told you about our brand and everything that's included and what you can expect at the resort. So now let's talk about where our resorts are, and I can tell you about each one of them. So like I mentioned earlier, our Hyatt Zalara resorts are adults only, and we have 3 of them. We have the Hyatt Zalara Cancun, the Hyatt Zalara Rose Hall that I just got back from 3 weeks ago, so remind me, I'm going to tell you about that in a second. Our Hyatt Zalara Cafcana in the Dominican Republic, and then our Hyatt Zivas, which are all ages, so great for anybody. We have quite a few. We have the one in, actually 2 in Cancun, we have one in Los Cabos, Puerto Vallarta, Rose Hall, Jamaica, and then another one in Cafcana in the Dominican Republic. So I'll start, I'm just going to go through each one and just kind of tell you a little bit about each one of the resorts. These are our 2 fairly new resorts. They just opened in the fall of 2019, and they are in the Dominican Republic. And Cafcana is an area of the Dominican Republic. They call it the Beverly Hills of the Dominican Republic because it's very high-end, beautiful beach, gated community, and beautiful golf courses here, beautiful beach. And we opened 2 resorts side by side. So we've got our Hyatt Zalara Cafcana, which is in the pink circle on the left. So that's that U-shaped building. And then right next to it is the Hyatt Ziva. And what's really nice about this is there's exchange privileges. So if you were staying at the Hyatt Zalara, you can come over and use everything that you want at the Hyatt Ziva. And there's no extra charge for that. So you can use the restaurants, the pools, the bars, everything. If you are staying at the Ziva and you're an adult, you can actually go over to the Zalara as well. Just never any kids over at the Zalara. And then I don't know if you can see that little pink box on the bottom left-hand corner that says #1. We are currently rated on TripAdvisor as the #1 hotel in all of Dominican Republic. So not even just this area, the whole country. So out of 808 hotels, we are #1. These 2 resorts are gorgeous. So and actually most of the photos that I've used in the presentation are from the Hyatt Ziva and Zalara Cafcana. So now I'll tell you about our Hyatt Zalara Rose Hall in Jamaica. This is the one that I just got back myself. And to be completely honest, this was my first trip internationally since everything happened. And I was a little bit I wasn't nervous, but I was like, oh, okay, how's this gonna go? I know there's extra stuff I have to do now. And you know what? It was so easy. So don't let the new requirements freak you out at all. It really is seamless. So for Jamaica, I did have to get an antigen test to go down. You have to get one of those at least 72 days or 72 hours in advance. Those are the cheap ones. I think you can get them at Shoppers Drug Mart for about $40. So that was really easy. I had to get one of those. For Mexico and Dominican Republic, no test. So you don't even have to worry about it. It's only Jamaica. And then once I was at the resort, of course, you know that you have to get a PCR test to come back into Canada. Well, the hotels look after it. So we look after that for you. Now, if you're going to the Dominican Republic and you're staying at least 7 nights, which usually if you're going that far, you're going to probably stay for at least 7 nights, we include the cost of the PCR test for Dominican Republic. For Jamaica and Mexico, unfortunately, there is an additional charge, but we have negotiated rates. They're different per destination, but they're usually about $100. And actually, Cabo used to be $250, if you can believe it. They were the most expensive one for the test, but our general manager at the hotel just got the rate reduced to $90. So it's way better than what it was. So the prices are coming down. And there's probably a good chance by the time you go, the prices will even be lower, or it might not even be required. We just never know, right? So things are always changing, but the pricing is going the right way. They're all coming down with the pricing. So this is our Hyatt Zalara Rose Hall in Jamaica. We're only 15 minutes away from Montego Bay Airport, which is great for us in Western Canada, because getting to Jamaica can be a little bit of a longer flight. You've probably been to, if you've been to the Caribbean before, although there is a direct flight out of Calgary, WestJet is doing a nonstop now from Calgary to Montego Bay. So once you land, really quick transfer over to the resort. The Hyatt Zalara is on the right side, and then the Hyatt Ziva is right next to it. So same thing, there's exchange privileges. So I was staying at the Zalara side, so I was able to come over to the Ziva and use all the restaurants and all that. And same thing with the adults. The Ziva can go over to the Zalara whenever they want. And it's just little touches at the Hyatt. So for example, there's no towel cards. So you may have been to an all-inclusive, like one of our competitors, where you go and when you check in, you get a towel card, and you have to go down with your towel card and give that in, and they give you a beach towel, and you don't want to lose it because they charge you. We don't do that. So when you go down to the pool or the beach, we have plush towels for you. We have extra towels for you, so you can have more than one towel if you need it. So it's the little things and the quality of the furniture that's around the pool and the beach. It's not like cheap plastic furniture. It's the nice like loungers and that sort of thing that we have here. And the food was incredible. Now we will move over to Cancun and talk about our third Hyatt Zalara. This is the Hyatt Zalara Cancun. And it looks like a massive hotel, but it's actually not that big because all the rooms are facing the ocean. So we call it single corridor. So on the back of the property or back of the resort, that's just the hallway. So all the rooms are facing out to the ocean. So every single room has an amazing ocean view. And the beach in Cancun right now is beautiful. So if you're a beach person, you might definitely want to check out Cancun as an option. And then up the beach a little bit, we have a Hyatt Ziva Cancun, because the Zalara was the adults. This is our family one. And remember earlier I was saying that we always have the best locations. This is a prime example. We have the best location in Cancun. We are at Punta Vista, which is the point. Cancun is kind of shaped like a 7. So we're right at the point of the 7, which means we are surrounded on 3 sides by this beautiful turquoise Caribbean ocean. And we have 2 beaches. So you can see we've got this one beach here that we're looking at. And this beach is incredible. The water is crystal clear, sandy bottom. It's waist deep, way out. There's no waves, like little tiny little ripples, but no major waves, so no undertow. So if you're traveling with kids, this is a really good beach. Or if you're not a strong swimmer, this would be a great beach. And then on the other side of the property, we have Sahara Beach, we call it, because it's so big. So that's our second beach. And then at the Hyatt Ziva Cancun, remember I was saying Zivas are all ages. We do have an adults-only tower called the Turquoise Tower. And let me tell you, I stayed here in December of 2019. This was my last trip before lockdown. And I was staying at the Hyatt Ziva, and I decided to upgrade and stay at the Turquoise Tower. And I'm sure glad I did, because all the rooms come with a butler. I've never had a butler before. I actually didn't think I was a butler kind of person. I was like, what am I going to do with a butler? Turns out I'm a butler kind of guy. It was nice having a butler. Anything I needed, the butler was there. And we communicated by WhatsApp. So she hadn't heard from me. Her name was Diana. She hadn't heard from me for a while. Every once in a while, she would just check in. Mr. Marsh, how are you doing? Do you need anything? And it was great. All the rooms face out to the ocean, and every room has a jacuzzi on the balcony. So you have these amazing beach views from your balcony with a 2-person jacuzzi. And this is where we have the swim out, sky swim outs. I don't know if you can see them in the photo, but they're on the 2nd floor. those are our swim out suites, and they're an infinity edge pool, which are incredible. So that's in Cancun. Then we have our newest resort that just opened about a month ago. It's our new Hyatt Ziva Riviera Cancun. So if you've been to Cancun or the Riviera Maya before, you might remember the little town called Puerto, which is about halfway between Cancun and Playa del Carmen. There's this cute little town called Puerto Morelos. We're just outside of Puerto Morelos. So again, great location because we're on the beach, but we're only 15 to 20 minutes from the airport. I love that when you arrive at the hotel, at the airport, you don't have a long transfer time to get to one of our resorts. And then because we are in Western Canada, I got to talk about this is my #1 seller from Western Canada, our Hyatt Ziva Los Cabos. Beautiful property. This is the one where we just have lowered the PCR rates. Remember I was saying Cabo, everything's expensive in Cabo. Like if you were going out to a restaurant or everything seems to be more expensive in Cabo. That's why it's good to do an all-inclusive because everything's included. But the PCR tests were over $200, which was the most expensive at any of our destinations. But it's now only $90. So that's much easier to swallow, $90 rather than $200 or $250 what it was before. This property is located in San Jose Del Cabo. So if you've been to Cabo on a cruise, Cabo San Lucas is where the cruise ships come in, and usually you have to tender in. And that's where it's sort of busier, it's more touristy, that's where a lot of the nightclubs are. Then about 30 minutes away is a smaller little town called San Jose Del Cabo. It's more artsy. Actually, every Thursday night they have something called an art walk, where you can go around to the different galleries with a glass of wine, and it's really kind of a fun thing to do. We are just on the outskirts of San Jose Del Cabo. All the rooms face, most of the rooms are facing in towards the ocean as well. The only thing that I always like to point out, because I like to be completely transparent, is if you are a beach person, like swimming in the ocean, you might not want to do Cabo just because the undertows can be quite strong and dangerous. But if you're a pool person like me, don't worry, we've got major pools. So we've got the 2 big ones that you can see there. And that pool that's closest to the beach has an infinity edge. So even though you're in the pool, you feel you're at the beach. That's where the swim up bar is as well. And then over on the building on the left, you can't see it, but there's an adults pool over on that side. That's usually where I'm hanging out. And then over on the other side of the building on the right, that's where we have our kids pool. So we have a special pool just for kids with little water slides and all that kind of fun thing. But great property. I just get nothing but rave reviews on this one, and I've been here many times myself. But I do have to tell you my favorite. I know I probably shouldn't have a favorite resort. I think it's kind of like having a favorite child. You're not supposed to do that. But I do have a favorite, and it's Hyatt Ziva Puerto Vallarta. So nice and easy for us in Western Canada. There's non-stop flights out of Edmonton to get you into Puerto Vallarta. You can get there by lunchtime usually. And this resort is just south of downtown. So if you've been to Puerto Vallarta before, you know there's the downtown area with the cobblestone streets and the romantic zone and the Malecon. We are just 5 minutes south of downtown. So we're close. So if you want to go into town and experience all that, it's only a $6 cab ride. Or if you're really feeling adventurous, you can take a bus. There's a bus stop outside the resort. I've done that before. It's about $1, I think less than $1. And the buses just come by all the time. So it's kind of like a fun little adventure to do. But this resort is on a cove, and we are the only hotel on this cove. So even though in Mexico, there's no such thing as a private beach, this resort basically has a private beach because we don't share this beach with any other hotel. And this one is a swimmable beach. So beautiful. So if you want to go in the ocean, no problem with that. And the other thing I love about this resort is all the rooms here face out to the ocean. So again, you know, especially being in Alberta, you know, you don't have the ocean at your doorstep. So when you're on vacation, it's so nice that you can open your sliding door, walk out into your balcony, and it's not a peekaboo view of the ocean. It is the ocean is right there. And what a great spot to enjoy your breakfast when you order room service. or Puerto Vallarta is known for their amazing sunsets, to enjoy one of those beautiful sunsets from there. And then we also have something unique at this property that we include. It's called a jungle tour. So because we're up against that mountain, there's a little creek that kind of goes through the property. And every morning around 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, our sports and entertainment team will lead everybody who wants to go up on this hike up behind the resort, up to a waterfall. And it's really fun, and there's no charge for that. It's just something that we do. If you're thinking of doing it, make sure you bring running shoes that you don't mind getting wet, or water shoes, because you're going to be getting their feet wet when you're walking up there, but it's really, really fun. Now, I do want to talk about our Playa Safe Stay. So when I was at the resort, so I was there for 11 days, just a couple weeks ago at our Hyatt Zalara Rose Hall. What's life like at the resort? Well, we take safety very seriously because we're part of Hyatt and Hilton resorts. We have to adapt their protocols. So, you know, every time you go into a restaurant, it's kind of just like being at home, basically. So when you're indoors, they want you to wear the mask. When you get to a restaurant, you'll do a hand sanitizer, wear your mask. You walk in, as soon as you sit down, mask comes off, and it's just like normal times, really. And then at the pools and the beaches and all that, you don't have to worry about wearing masks or anything like that. We are doing a lot of extra cleaning, and we'll do things like, so when you arrive at the resort, all of your luggage is disinfected and cleaned before it's taken up to your room. We're doing a lot of sort of things behind the scenes to keep all of our team and our guests happy and safe. And I did want to mention, so I do get this question quite a bit right now, is what would happen if I decided to go and I know that I have to get a PCR test before I come back? What would happen if I tested positive? Well, first of all, that hardly ever happens. We very rarely get that, but actually it happens occasionally. And then when they get a second test, it usually comes back, it was a false positive. But, you know, a couple times we have had that. So we do have something called our extended stay protection. Now, this is $29 US per person per stay. So not per night, for the whole week or 2 weeks, it's $29. You'll be offered it at the time of check-in. And this would cover, in case you did, on the very slight chance you tested positive and you couldn't come home, you can stay with us for an extra 14 nights while you wait that time out to come back. But like I said, that is not happening very much at all. And actually, the trip that I was on, the first part of the trip was actually a conference. And we had 250 people at the conference. So it was kind of interesting because we had to, you know, there was social distancing with the way they were doing everything. And not one single person tested positive after out of the 250 people. So like I was saying, like, you know, it really feels like normal times when you're down there. We're doing lots in the back end that you don't see to keep everybody safe, but really we want to keep this as a fun thing. We don't want it to feel like you're going to visit at a hospital. We want you to have, just be able to let your hair down and enjoy it. And I definitely felt that when I was there, and I wasn't sure if I was. I was going to be like, what's the feel going to be at the resorts? And I was so happy to see that it feels just like it did before, and it felt so good to get away. I didn't even realize how much I missed it until I got down there. And I'm already starting to plan my next one because I know that that's 40% of the enjoyment is planning the next one, right? So that kind of brings me to the end. I could have gone on further, but I wanted to save time in case there were some questions at the end here.
Thank you, Freddie. Oh my God, I want to get my sandals and my bathing suit and my suitcase and get ready to go. Those beaches look absolutely fabulous. There are some questions, so I'm just gonna throw them out to you. Let me just, give me 2 seconds. All right. One of the questions, are there lifeguards at the beach in front of the resorts?
Yeah, that's a great question. At the beach and also the pool. So we have certified lifeguards at both.
Okay, that's fabulous. You showed pool yoga. Is that available at all the resorts?
It is. It is. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's kind of fun. What they do is those floating mats, they anchor to the bottom of the pool. Because when I first did it, I was like, am I going to be floating like all over the place? But they kind of stay in one place, but you got to have balance. But yeah, it's really fun, and we're doing it at all of them.
And I guess if I do a downward dog and I fall off, oh, well, it doesn't matter because I'm just going to go into probably some beautiful warm water.
Exactly.
Is there a quote unquote membership presentation at any of these resorts? I think we're talking about timeshare. So your resorts have nothing to do with timeshares.
No, and actually, I should have mentioned that because that's a huge selling feature. Because I know a lot of our competitors, they're going to try to rope you in and try to do timeshare. We do not have timeshare at our property, so there's none of that.
Love it, love it. Not so much recently, because not a lot of people have been traveling, but probably about a year or two ago, there was some issues with seaweed on the beaches in Cancun. Any update on that?
Yeah, it's hit or miss. So a couple of weeks ago, I heard that it was quite bad. They call it sargassum. It's the name of the seaweed that keeps coming up in the Caribbean. If that is a major concern, I do have one of our resorts called the Hilton La Romana in the Dominican Republic. Beautiful resort. I didn't talk about it because it's one of our Hilton brands. That resort has an incredible beach, and it has never had seaweed, just the way it's located. So if that's sort of a concern and you're like, oh, I want to make sure I go somewhere where I'm not going to see it, the Hilton La Romana would be a great option for you.
Okay, thank you. A question about the a la carte restaurants, men's dress code, clothes, shoes, long pants, or dress sandals, dress shorts, okay?
Yeah, dress shorts are okay. I try never to wear pants when I'm down there. I just want to be in shorts the whole time. So I love that I can go to any of the restaurants and, nicer shorts. They don't want you wearing your bathing suit. A collared shirt, but like a short sleeve collared shirt like this is totally fine. And then with the shoes, they sort of want closed toed in the evenings. I'm talking about daytime, it doesn't matter, but in the evenings, like just get like a running shoe would even be fine.
Okay. What we're finding is that, and you talked about, how did you describe it? You talked about splurge travel. I think I'd call it revenge travel. And we are finding that people are just, and especially because it's dark in Alberta at like 4:30, and right now we're fairly mild, but last week we did have a snowstorm. So when we're looking at availability, like how far in advance do you have to book if somebody wanted to go away in February or March? Is there still availability at a lot of these resorts?
There are. So normally in past years, I'd say, oh, it's getting pretty limited. We do it this year though, because, travel is just sort of ramping up now. We actually do have the availability. So if you were wanting to, do some revenge travel or splurge like I'm doing and do a swim up or a butler suite, we actually do have a lot of that inventory left at the resort. So you should have no problem getting that if that's what you're looking for.
All right. And definitely all the Expedia Cruises consultants are willing to help you on that. You did talk about entertainment, so that was taken care of. Food allergies was also addressed. And that's in all the restaurants, all the resorts. So give me an idea, like, is it gluten-free? Like what type of allergies do you deal with?
Well, pretty much any allergy. The main ones right now seem to be the gluten and the peanuts. So those are and dairy, we get that one a lot. But even if you have, if you're on a certain diet like paleo and keto, we can actually even accommodate that as well.
Okay, wonderful. You did touch about the PCR tests, so they are offered Dominican, free, and Jamaica and Mexico at a reasonable discounted rate. So when they get to the resort, do they need to arrange that at the front desk, let them know they're Canadians and this is what we need to come back?
Yeah, so when they're checking in, they'll, you always have to give your passport to the front desk anyways, just for them to look at and copy the information. Right. So they'll see that you're Canadian. So they will set up an appointment with our concierge. So they look after all of that. And you just have to show up at that spot at that. And the testing is done on site. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. So you don't have to worry about leaving the resort. Yeah.
Oh, perfect, perfect. Question about the dedicated turtle program at the Ziva Puerto Vallarta.
Somebody was doing their research. I love that. Yeah, that's one of the great things. We actually have it at several of our resorts, including the Hyatt Ziva Puerto Vallarta. But what we'll do is when the turtles come in and lay the eggs, we have a section of the beach that's closed off where no humans can go to. And that's where we make sure all of those eggs get put in that area. And then if you're lucky, and we never know when it's going to happen, but if you're lucky, you'll be there for a turtle release, which is just an amazing experience to see these little guys running off into, and it's always at night. And I heard that they're going towards the moon. The moonlight is what they're doing when they go into the ocean. But it's really, really special thing to be part of.
Okay. A question about capacity. All these people are so smart. Question about capacities right now. Approximate what's the capacity that you're running?
So actually, I was talking to Randy about that earlier, is in some of our destinations, we are capped by law at 70%, which is kind of nice of the country we're operating in. So you can only be at 70%. That would be Jamaica and some destinations in Mexico. But we're not normally full right now, like we are on normal years. So when I was down in Jamaica, we got up to 70% on the weekends, but then it kind of got a little bit quieter during the day, which I kind of liked. It was kind of nice having all that extra space during the week, because weekends are always a little bit busier.
Okay, perfect. Well, I think that is all the questions. Just want to thank everybody for joining us. Just remember, travel is starting, and it is definitely the time to either start to travel or start thinking about where you want to go. Freddie, do you have availability, like do you have pricing and bookings available into 2022 and beyond? Where are you in terms of your booking process?
We do. So you can go as far out as 2023. We just launched a new sale called our Winter Wonderland sale, where we have 20% off. And of course, your Expedia cruise agents have full access to that. And the beauty of it is with that sale, there's some relaxed cancellation penalties. So maybe you're thinking about going away and booking something in March and getting having a trip to look forward to, but you don't want to be committed if you had, small chance you had to cancel. We have relaxed cancellation policy right now as well. So makes it really easy to book something.
So it sounds like lower capacity, so lots of space. They take care of your PCR tasks, flexible booking policies. I mean, why not book? So we have all lost 2 years, almost 2 years of travel. And I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm getting I don't have that much more time left. So I've got to make up for it. So please reach out to your Expedia consultants if you have any questions, if you want us to help you start planning your travel, your next vacation, or if you have any questions at all. Reminder to follow us on Facebook. Also check out our YouTube channels. Next week, we are going to have Atlas Ocean Voyages, probably a new name in the industry for most of you. So please join us. And then we are going to be taking a break for the holiday season. We'll be back to our Thursday night travel talks starting January 13th. And if you're on our email list, you'll receive an email letting you know about the agendas and who we're going to have join us in 2022. So Freddie, thank you again for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for your time, for your past vacations. We look forward to helping you plan your future dream vacations. Everyone have a safe weekend, and we will see you next week, hopefully. Thanks so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.